What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, breaking news about the next 7-star Tera raid battle coming to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is going to be Ice, Tera, INTELEON, coming from April 28th to April 30th, and then coming back again May 5th through May 7th. Of course, if you like my type of content, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it, and consider joining the Pan Fam today by hitting the join channel member button below. And of course, like every other Tera raid event, the INTELEON you can only catch once, and each INTELEON is going to have the mightiest mark, so you definitely want to participate in this event. Luckily for us, this INTELEON is going to be an Ice Tera, which means it's going to have a boatload of weaknesses that we can exploit. I mean, it's going to be weak to fire, it's going to be weak to steel, rock, and fighting as well. So INTELEON is going to be a relatively easy fight in my opinion. And of course you want to do this raid because you want to breed that INTELEON to get the shiny Snobble. And shiny Snobble looks pretty phenomenal. I mean, looking at the full line here, Drizzile looked really good too. And of course, shiny INTELEON looks pretty phenomenal as well. We definitely need to figure out the best method to defeat this INTELEON, but like I said, I'm not that worried based on its type and its moveset, and let's review that now. And breaking down INTELEON's stats, INTELEON has a massive special attack and speed stat here. Pretty much everything else about INTELEON is really minimal. I mean, 85 attack, it's probably not going to have any physical attacking moves. I mean, especially that 125 special attack. HP is 70, defense and SPDF are both 65, meaning this thing's gonna be a glass cannon, and combine those terrible defenses with ice typing, which is one of, if not the worst defensive type in Pokemon. This is going to be one of the easiest Tera raids for us, but definitely have to bring a Pokemon that can take water or ice type attacks because we got to prepare for both of those for sure. And of course, 125 special attack is nothing to scoff at, so you definitely want to have Pokemon that can bring high special defenses naturally so they can take those hits and deal some super effective damage back. But I do think this is one of those Pokemon that we can easily beat in 2 turns if we can figure out the right strategy. Moves by level up for INTELEON aren't really impressive at all. I mean, the scariest thing it has by level up is Hydro Pump, which is a water type stab move, 110 power, 80 accuracy, so we do have to watch out for that. But looking at his other moves here, Liquidation, I'm not really afraid of, or U-turn or Sucker Punch here, honestly. Just because that 85 attack stat is really not that scary. It could have some of these moves, but if it does, that's sort of a blessing for us because I'm not really afraid of any of the physical moves in it. Moves learned by level up move pool. Now, when we look by moves learned by evolution, Snipe Shot is a little bit scary because this is a +1 move on crit, meaning Snipe Shot is going to have a 12% naturally chance to crit us, which is pretty high. 12% chance to crit is a very scary type of move, so I definitely think it's going to have Snipe Shot for sure, and maybe Hydro Pump for its more damaging water type move. Now, when we look at the egg moves here, I'm not really seeing anything here that's too scary. I mean, it could have potentially Ice Shard because it is an Ice Tera. Haze and Miss are a little bit scary, especially Haze. Haze will remove all of our stat buffing moves, so that will be really bad for us if we're trying to set up for a turn 2 kill. So we got to watch out for Haze. Double Team is pretty awful too. This reminds me of the Greninja raid series when it was using Double Team at the beginning. So INTELEON using Double Team is definitely a threat that we're going to have to consider. So maybe having a Pokemon with Clear Smog to alleviate this problem would be really helpful. Other moves, I don't really see any sort of use for INTELEON. Now, looking at the moves it learns by TM, once again, the physical move pool is not that impressive. I mean, his best move is Giga Impact, which is not that great. I mean, Acrobatics potentially, because it's probably not going to have an item. So that's going to do 110 base damage. But, you know, with 85 base attack, I'm not really afraid of those physical move pools. However, the special move pool is a lot scarier here. And actually, there's some important moves that I think it will have for coverage. Don't think it's gonna have water pools, but Chilling Water potentially. I mean, it lowers the attack stat by 1, so if you are using physical attackers, potentially Chilling Water could lower you, so that's a problem. Icy Wind lowers speed. I don't think it's gonna have that. There's a lot of better ice moves it could have, but I mean, lowering speed, it doesn't really need to when it's already so much faster than everything else on the field, most likely at base 120 speed. Now, Mud Shot is a terrifying move, and I definitely think it's gonna have Mud Shot. Reason being, Mud Shot is gonna be super effective against steel types, which ice is gonna be weak to steel types, and also steel resist ice moves. So Mud Shot is gonna allow that super effective damage coming into those steel type Pokemon, also into fire, also into a rock, which are 2 things that ice is also weak to. So I think Mud Shot is gonna be the perfect coverage move for Inteleon in this raid series, so I think we can easily bet on Mudshot being in that final moveset. Now, Air Cutter, Air Slash, I can actually see one of these moves being here. I always got this vibe from Inteleon that it sort of has this weird flying type essence to me because it sort of has those arm flaps to it. So I could potentially see something like Air Slash. Air Slash has that high flinch rate, 30% chance of flinching, so that is pretty scary too. Now, Dark Pulse and Shadow Ball, both phenomenal moves for coverage here. Both of them are great. Dark Pulse can flinch and Shadow Ball can lower that speed def, but which is a 10% chance of lowering that speed def by one stage. Both of these are great. Honestly, Shadow Ball is more scary because it has way better coverage overall, and this will definitely hurt Annihilate strategies more, but even then, I think Annihilate can still probably solo this. Now, we're looking at the big moves here. Surf, pretty scary. Surf is, once again, a phenomenal water type move. I could definitely see it have Surf on its moveset as well. Ice Beam is probably going to be the big ice move here. I can't see it not have Ice Beam. And Hydro Pump once again, and then Blizzard. Now, I think Blizzard is where we get into what could the status move of this raid be. And Blizzard looks like the move it could have if it is carrying the move Snowscape. Now, why is Snowscape scary? Well, one, Snowscape puts up the snow, which means Blizzard will never miss, and a never miss 110 base power move that is Tera boosted because it's Tera Ice is going to be absolutely terrifying for us to deal, especially with that 125 special attack. So yes, we're going to have to worry about that for sure. And that's why I think it's going to be important to have a Pokemon that can resist ice moves, because we don't want to get hit by Blizzard spam and die. The other terrifying part about Snowscape is because Gen 9 buff Ice-type Pokemon. Ice-type Pokemon now get a 50% defense boost in the snow. And because Inteleon is now a Tera Ice Pokemon, 50% boost to his defense is going to be pretty massive. So physical attackers are going to have a harder time breaking through the Inteleon, which is why I think it's going to be important to either A, change the weather, or B, use special attackers to try to break down Inteleon. And I do think special attackers will have the edge as long the weather is up. So unless we change the weather, special attackers are probably going to be the way to go here. Now, it does have some other moves it could use to set up with, but I really do think Snowscape and Double Team and Haze are probably the three scariest. I don't think it's going to put up Rain Dance. It could to boost up its water type moves, but I don't really think it's going to do that. I can also see it putting up Light Screen because it is getting a defense boost with the Snow Storm up. So Light Screen to increase that speed def is going to be really helpful to it. Could be a turn one move, could go Snowscape and then Light Screen, so it actually has some defenses going for it if it doesn't go for the Snowscape and Blizzard. Off the top of my head, before we wrap up, a couple of Pokemon that can be phenomenal for this, and of course, I will be doing a full breakdown video on the Pokemon that you should build for this, but off the top of my head, I really do think something like Umbreon's going to be a phenomenal defensive Pokemon here in general. Goldingo, Water Tauros is going to be great too, but I'm sure there's a bunch of other Pokemon, and definitely check out my next video where I break down all the builds for physical attackers, special attackers, and supporters of things that you should build, and then we'll go deeper into 1-turn strats, 2-turn strats, and maybe 3-turn strats as well. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a good one, and of course, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, and have a great one.